Ever wondered how B-2 bomber pilots survive a 45-hour mission? Beyond stealth technology and heavy firepower, their endurance comes down to something surprisingly simple, and that is food. Here's how they manage meals while soaring non-stop through marathon flights. Flying a B-2 Spirit stealth bomber isn't just about advanced engineering, it's about human resilience. Pilots can spend nearly 2 full days confined to a cockpit with little room to move, rest, or eat. In those conditions, even an ordinary meal turns into a mission of its own. There's no space for coolers, and takeout is out of the question. Instead, crews depend on pre-packed rations, carefully selected meals, and strict planning to stay alert and sharp. Even the timing of each bite matters. Every meal is deliberately simple, precise, and designed for performance, keeping pilots awake, agile, and ready for split-second decisions. Comfort isn't the priority. Survival island. Just as a bomber depends on mid-air refueling, these pilots rely on the right fuel at the right time, because even the most advanced aircraft in the world can't complete its mission if its crew runs out of theirs. Also, pilots inside the B-2 don't just sit and steer. They manage complex systems, monitor instruments, and coordinate with crews on the ground and in the air. They are constantly thinking, constantly calculating, constantly aware that a single mistake could compromise the entire mission. To do that for 45 hours straight requires focus beyond what most of us can imagine. And that focus depends on fuel. Not the jet fuel burning through the engines, but the human fuel packed carefully into small bags and containers inside the cockpit. Food is not a side note, it's a lifeline. When hunger hits, concentration breaks. When blood sugar drops, reaction times slow. For an average person, that might mean missing a turn on the highway. For a B-2 pilot, it could mean losing precision at a critical moment. And so, eating becomes just as vital as flying. The preparation begins long before takeoff. Every pilot knows that what they put into their body before the mission will echo for hours to come. Heavy, greasy meals are avoided. Spicy dishes or carbonated drinks are off the list too. Nobody wants stomach problems in a cockpit with no escape. Instead, the focus is on lean proteins, complex carbohydrates, and meals that digest cleanly. Chicken, rice, vegetables, and oatmeal are foods that provide steady energy without distraction. Even sleep schedules are adjusted in the days before, carefully synced with meal times to create the best possible rhythm. The body is treated like a machine that must be finely tuned before a marathon, where even the smallest imbalance could create problems. Also, the hydration levels are carefully monitored, caffeine intake is controlled, and snacks are chosen with precision. Nothing is left to chance because once the wheels leave the runway, every decision made beforehand determines endurance, clarity, and survival. Once the mission begins, every bite is calculated. Pilots can't bring just anything on board. There's no room for bulky containers, no space for fancy packaging. Instead, they rely on MREs, meals ready to eat. These are compact, long-lasting, nutrient-packed rations designed for war. They don't spoil, they don't require a kitchen, they fit into the smallest spaces. Some can even heat themselves with a chemical pack activated by water. To a hungry pilot at 30,000 feet, a pouch of beef stew or pasta may not sound like much, but it delivers exactly what the body needs: protein, carbs, and fats in the right balance. Every calorie is carefully measured to keep the crew sharp, awake, and focused during endless hours of flight. Even the texture and portion size are chosen with precision, making sure nothing distracts them from the mission at hand. It's not just about full meals either. Between MREs, pilots turn to quick snacks, protein bars, trail mix, and dried fruit. Foods that can be eaten in seconds without interrupting concentration. Imagine trying to balance a plate on your lap with turbulence shaking the aircraft. Impossible. Instead, you squeeze a pouch, tear open a wrapper, take a bite, and get back to work. Efficiency is everything, but food is only half the story. Hydration is just as critical. At altitude, the air is dry. The body loses water faster than normal. Even mild dehydration can cloud the mind, trigger headaches, and drain energy. For a pilot, that's unacceptable. They need a constant supply of fluids, delivered in ways that won't interfere with masks, helmets, or controls. In addition, special containers are designed for the cockpit, spill-proof, and easy to sip from. Some pilots use hydration bladders, the same kind hikers carry, with tubes that let them drink without taking their hands off the controls. Inside those containers is not just water, but electrolyte drinks, juices, and sometimes smoothies that provide both hydration and energy. Every sip is carefully timed, They don't drink only when thirsty. They drink regularly, maintaining balance hour after hour. Now, picture the cockpit itself. The B-2 might look massive from the outside, but inside, space is limited. Every inch is filled with glowing panels, switches, and instruments. The pilots are strapped into their seats, with little room to stretch or move. Eating here is not like pulling over for a picnic. It's a test of patience and precision. Also, most of their meals are consumed with helmets nearby, controls within reach, and the constant awareness that the mission continues even as they chew. It's food as survival, not luxury. The hum of electronics, the vibration of engines, and the ever-present pressure of silence outside remind them that nothing is ordinary here. Even sipping water requires careful timing, because one slip could mean spilling liquid across sensitive controls. The mission planning doesn't stop with the pilots themselves. Behind them is an army of ground staff who calculate every detail. They know exactly how long the flight will be, when the pilots will eat, and what fuel, both jet fuel and human fuel, will be needed. When the bomber meets a tanker in the sky for mid-air refueling, the process isn't just about the aircraft, it's also a mental checkpoint for the pilots. A brief moment to hydrate, snack, and reset their rhythm before the next long stretch. Every move is choreographed with survival in mind. The smallest breaks, even minutes long, can mean the difference between sharp focus and dangerous fatigue, and that's why the schedule is treated as sacred. As we know deeply, the human body wasn't designed to sit still for 45 hours. Blood flow slows, muscles ache, and fatigue sets in. Pilots prepare for this as well. They train physically to build stamina and circulation. They practice mental strategies to stay sharp, from breathing exercises to mindfulness techniques. Some adjust their sleep cycles, practicing split sleep patterns that allow them to grab rest in short intervals without losing alertness. The food they eat during the flight is only one piece of this puzzle, but it's a vital one. Without it, the rest collapses. Think about the sheer endurance required. Most people can't go half a day without stretching, walking, or grabbing a fresh meal. Pilots do it for nearly 2 days, strapped into a chair, flying one of the most advanced machines ever built. And they do it without complaint, without error, sustained by small packets of food, measured sips of water, and discipline that borders on superhuman. There's another factor at play, is that the food doesn't just feed the body, it feeds the mind. Even a simple snack can bring comfort in the middle of an exhausting mission. That's why MREs, while practical, are also designed to feel familiar. Tortillas with peanut butter, pasta with tomato sauce, even small desserts like cookies, tiny reminders of normal life packaged for war. These moments of comfort help break the monotony, keeping spirits steady even as the hours drag on. Most likely, in the background, nutritionists and planners think about everything. How much sodium should a pilot consume to avoid dehydration? How much caffeine is too much before it interferes with rest? Should meals be heavier early in the flight or lighter to avoid fatigue? Every answer is calculated, tested, and refined, ensuring that when a pilot takes off, their body is equipped to handle the unimaginable. They even simulate conditions on the ground, studying how different rations affect alertness over long stretches, tweaking menus like scientists perfecting an experiment. The truth is, this balance of food, hydration, and mental strength is not just about comfort. It's about survival in modern warfare. The B-2 isn't just a machine of stealth, it's a machine that relies on the endurance of its crew. A mission could stretch across oceans, continents, and time zones. The pilots inside must remain alert from start to finish. Their ability to eat efficiently, drink steadily, and push their bodies to the limit is every bit as critical as the bomber's radar-evading skin or its nuclear payload. Every crunch of a protein bar, every sip from a hydration tube, every carefully timed meal break. These are not small details. They are threads holding the mission together. Remove them, and even the most advanced aircraft in the world would be useless. So, the next time you picture a B-2 bomber slicing silently through the night sky on a mission that could change the course of history, remember this. It's not just stealth technology that makes it possible. It's the human inside, fueled by science, discipline, and a handful of cleverly packed meals. A pilot surviving 45 hours in the sky is not just flying a plane. They are proving that with the right preparation, even human limits can be stretched further than anyone thought possible. So, let's look at it this way. It's simple. Engines need fuel. Pilots do too. And sometimes, the greatest secret of the most advanced bomber on Earth isn't the machine itself, it's the granola bar, the pouch of stew, and the steady sip of water keeping the human inside alive. Most of us get restless on a 5-hour flight. Now imagine flying for 45 hours straight without leaving your seat, without proper sleep, and without real meals. That's the brutal reality for B-2 bomber pilots, and the only way they survive it is through carefully planned food, hydration, and endurance. Anyways, that's it for this video. Kindly share your thoughts in the comments, and do not forget to like and subscribe for the next update. Thanks for watching.